Hi, this video is on how to add a glossary for your class. Now, I've done a previous one on the fact that you can use glossary for all kinds of stuff. It can integrate into every activity in your class to provide hyperlinks to words that you want to define in your class itself. You can also use it to create games that use your glossary of terms. So in every chapter, I have a glossary of terms for that chapter, and I have not made one for chapter 8, so I'm going to go ahead and do that at this time. So first of all, to add a glossary, you just hit and turn your editing on, and you add an activity called a glossary. So I'm going to add activity, and I add glossary, and I'm going to call it chapter 8 expansion terms. All the rest of it's good. I'm good with the defaults. Now I need a list of these terms to import, and I'm going to tell you that I can go through and find all the terms, or I could start with the pre-made list, and I'm going to start with the pre-made list that I actually had made for me by ChatGPT. So I went in ChatGPT, and I just in a chat asked it to make a list of terms for me for my class. So here's my ChatGPT. I went in and said, hey, I basically used it to ask a bunch of questions on this section. And in the end of my chat with ChatGPT, I said, hey, can you make me a list, a 2-column chart with covering both computer monitors and video card terms, and it did. And you know what? There were some terms up above that I went through when I was asking questions, and it didn't include that. So because it's a conversation, I said, hey, please add the 10 terms from the question above to the list. So I've got this list of terms, both for monitors and for video cards, that I want to add into my chapter 8. So first of all, I'm going to import this with a website to make a file. When I go into here and I want to import, which is what I'm going to do, entries, it says I want to import a file and it has to be an XML file. I don't know how to make that, but I know how to make it using other tools. So let's look at those other tools. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is use the glossary converter that I've got up now. It's the link to it's down in the comment section. I've got the address down there. So basically what we're going to do is have a 2-column chart that says the word and the definition, and we're going to drop it right in here. So we have to copy and paste the terms in here as a 2-column chart. Now, I've already got my terms, right? So I've got these terms, and I can go and I'm going to take and I'm going to copy this whole thing, and I'm going to copy it into Notepad. So I'm going to open Notepad, which by the way, you can just type here and you can type Notepad if you want to, and it'll bring it up. It's on the other monitor. There's my Notepad, and I'm going to paste it right in there. Now I've got terms and definitions, and I'm just going to take just like that. And now I've got my group of terms and definitions. I'm going to take that and I'm going to paste it right into this. And it says it wants it as concept and definition. So I'm going to change this word to concept. And it's already said definition. You can also add categories and keywords in there. I'm just going to leave it just like this. And then I'm going to say convert to XML, and it makes this file. And this is what I'm saying, I can't make this. So I'm going to go and copy this, and I'm going to open up a new Notepad file. And I'm going to drop that right in there. And I copied it with Control A to select it all and Control C to copy it. And then I brought it over here to Control V to paste it. And I'm going to save this file as, I'm just going to put it in my documents as chapter 8.xml. And I have to change this to all files, by the way. So it's going to let me save this as an XML file. You know what, I'm going to put it right on my desktop just to make it easier for me to find here in a second. So I'm going to hit save. And then I'm going to go over here to those terms. I'm going to say choose file. I'm going to upload a file, choose a file, and go to my desktop. and choose that file I just made and say, sure, author's me, upload this file. And it's going to say, do you want to do it in the current glossary? Yes. And I'm just going to hit submit. And it just made 21 entries with 21 words. I'm going to say continue, and it's going to bring me that. So now everywhere in my Moodle course where it says the word anti-glare or aspect ratio or brightness or clock speed or color gamut or that doesn't belong there. Concept definition doesn't belong in there. Or CUDA cores, it's going to show it as a hyperlink that the student can hover over, and it will show that. So let's go look at one of those. So here's the word resolution, and now you can see that it highlights right there, and it's got a link that says it's in the chapter expansion terms, the word resolution, and if they click on it, it says resolution is the number of pixels on a display usually measured in width times height. So now everywhere in my chapter where there's those word terms, those became automatic hyperlinks. I can then use that for any of the games that are available that use terms. I'm going to go and update them and add other ones that I've got in my chapter as well. But that's the quick and easy way to get those from a list of terms started for your class just by using ChatGPT and say, hey, give me a list of terms on this subject, make it a 2-column chart. There I go to get the terms in there, and then I can add those more terms as I go to make sure everything from this section is in my list of terms. I do want to point one thing out, though, that's important to note when we go and look at using these in my course. And that is when it comes to things like tests. If I've got a test here, and I'm going to go ahead and go into this test. Right now in the test, if those terms are in there, and they obviously will be, it's going to show a hyperlink in the test to that term, and that might actually be the question I'm asking. So I might be giving them the answer along with the test. So I don't want to do that. And so the way I fix it so the hyperlinks don't work in an activity is I go to filters, and if I look in here, it says one of the filters that I want to turn off is glossary auto linking. So for my tests, I have to now make sure I go and turn this to off and save it, or every time that word comes up in the test as well, it's going to say the definition of the word, and then I may not be testing what I want to be testing because I'm giving them the answer. I have accidentally done this before, and it's amazing how few students will click on that link and find the answer anyway. But it's important to turn that off. So I have to turn off glossary auto linking in my tests to keep them from seeing all those glossary of terms while they're also taking the test. And that is it for creating a glossary. You can use any list that you've got, and it will import it. All you have to do is use that website. Again, super easy. I just drop that list in there and then hit the convert to XML, take this XML and save it as a file, and then import it right into my glossary to get my glossary started. Thanks.